let's just say this is just the next wave of where our society is going, then why do you think that people are not fully educating themselves on this then?
Because education doesn't help you stop the oppressor from doing what it does. Like, they'll never educate you to the point where you can overcome the oppressor. They'll give you something else to feed your mind, to distract you from what it is. We call it the old Potomac two-step around my way, right? They'll dance away to do something else and make you forget that you're supposed to do this thing. 80,000 images a day our young people have to sift through. I don't envy them at all. But when you have to teach critical thinking to young people who don't know how to critically think, I say this not to knock these young people. I say this to secure the notion of a future for them, to be able to discern what's right and what's wrong. Surface things can show you one thing, but the way you look at videos today, you don't know what's real or not. Sharks in the water in Jamaica on land? Oh, it's AI.
Right.
So every day you have to spend some time, like, the amount of energy you have to spend in trying to discern what's real and what's not is a trip. But ultimately, if you have enough grounding and foundation and be able to critically think and say, okay, is this for me? Can I do the work? Well, if everybody's running to that one thing, guess what's open? If everybody's running to gamble, then actually doing the work, you might have a space for yourself that you can make uniquely yours. No one wants to do the work today because, again, you can test everything on this thing.
That's so tough, though,
it's
man.
Tough.
That's so tough because, like you said, you got to decipher what's real, what isn't real. Which this day and age, I don't think anything is real. Shoot, people's profiles don't even look real. I mean, but
people are putting out AI videos of themselves every day. And you're like, oh, they live this great life.
Right.
It's the house of cards, my guy. It's the house of
cards.
But
how do you? Let's just say you're a young person, man, and you're trying to navigate this. What's your recourse? How does a young person that doesn't want to, because it's going to be hard to avoid it, but how do they navigate this saying, hey, that's just not me, but yet they got to live in it?
Effective communication with people who have been your age, you've never been theirs. Dead serious. Like, the stuff I learned, when my grandmother used to tell me stuff when I was a little kid, I didn't get it. I get it now. She was like, if you're going nowhere in life, any road will take you there. What? I get it now.
It's so funny, man.
If you're going nowhere in life, any road will take you there.
It's funny, man. I remember, man, my father once said, boy, you out here chasing a parked car.
100%. 100%. And I get it. Back then, it just sounded like some gibberish, some old country stuff. But now I get it and I understand it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't have a foundation, even if you don't have the nuclear family, blood don't always make you family either. Okay? You have people you can trust and depend upon. And whether you love the game, know the game or not, and I'm not talking about the game on the court, I'm talking the game off the court. Having people that will put you in the best position and said, okay, if I give you all the answers to the test, you still fail that. You made a choice, a conscious decision to do that. Yeah. And we can't protect everybody, but we can do our best to educate people and let them know they have resources that are not vested in their destruction or their downfall or in taking something from them, but giving them something. I never talk about things in terms of sacrifice. I don't believe in sacrifice at all. I believe sacrifice means you have to take something away. If you do anything to add to your life, it's an attribute. So I think in terms of the attributes. And so maybe it's about shifting.
People should be adding.
That's an attribute. Sacrifice doesn't, like, when you say, I sacrifice my life. No, that's part of what you do as a parent. You're a parent. That's what you're supposed to do. You don't get, when was the last time either one of you guys got a Father of the Year award from the Naismith Memorial, ever? The John Wooden Foundation, whatever it is. You don't. The award you get is in seeing your young people live the lives they want to live to the best of their abilities. That means you put them on a path and gave them something. A lot of our young people don't have that, and then our adults will get caught up in like, man, I'm not going to have a job again. Ageism is a thing for me, okay? If I want to find a job right now at 55 years old, it's tough. They're not going to give me a job. too much experience or too much this, you want too much money? Cool. I can give a kid coming out of school $30,000 in some bus tokens. I don't have to give you this, no insurance either.
You're right.
So I understand that. I used to get mad at it. Now I don't worry about that because I built my own thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is it harder? 100%. 100%. But the payoff is so sweet. The payoff is so sweet. And we continue to build that. Not, you know, for what it's worth, whether we're talking about Chauncey Billups, Eamon Jones, or these kids from UNO or Mississippi Valley State. Name one Mississippi Valley State player you know of. Jerry Rice, and he played football. That's the only person I ever known from coming from that school, right? And I mean, whoever it is, think about how hard it is for them to have made that decision and then get caught. Now that the pariah, the scarlet letter is going to be in their chest forever. What do? Like, you can't even do business dealings with these people because, oh, you did this, whether it's true or not. You talked about perceptions earlier. Well, that perception is going to be on them forever. And that's the messed up part. Do you take away your future for a couple $1,000s?
You know, I feel bad for Chauncey. You know, man. If anybody know his story, I mean, it's crazy. But sports gambling, man, been around since what?
The numbers running.
The 50s. I mean, yeah. I mean, and if you think about it,
people been gambling since time, and the survival of the fittest and seeing who's the best, I bet you he's better than whatever, right?
Right.
That's
Matter of fact,
been
you
going
know,
on
what they used to call it, man, back in the day? They used to call it bartering. Let me see what I can get out of you versus what you can get out of me. That's gambling.
The
But
very
it's
basis,
interesting,
the
though.
very basis of business, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's interesting, though. Why is it, though, that there's only certain stories? Like, you know, I remember, like, the Pete Rose story. I mean, it cost him, man, everything. And now they're trying to give it all back to him, but he ain't here to even appreciate it.
You know what that is, though.
Why? Please.
There's
man,
a desire to show that we do have empathy and feeling and compassion after the fact. That's empty calorie compassion, my guy. It's a show. It's all optics. Again, I look at it for what it's worth. Baseball got a jolt of energy this past World Series between Toronto and LA. Where people fell in love with this team that's supposed to be below the high money team, whatever. I get it. They've been fighting to get that spot back from the NFL and now the NBA for years. They're not going to get it back. Because when was the last time you saw a pickup baseball game? You're not going to find that, right? And I think the economics of sport also make it different. You don't see a lot of black players playing baseball anymore unless they're like, you know, from the Caribbean somewhere. Although they used to have a Major League Baseball academy in Uganda, of all places. When Uganda came over and they smacked all the little league teams over here. Like, oh, we have a new well to mine from. They cut that off a little bit, but whatever the case is. To get back on the topic of, like, life is a gamble. It's risk reward. You have to look at your cost benefit analysis or your cost deficit analysis, right? What did I say? I said it backward. Whatever. And say, what is the best thing for me? And I think that sometimes we see other people doing, and we want to do what they do. We want to keep up with the Joneses and want to make money, because all you get fed on these rough interweb streets, especially on IG or whatever, is this idea of a life that most of the time is not real. And you buy into that. It's hard. You get social media PTSD out here in these streets.
Yeah, you can.
You see young cats that are like, oh, he's a rapper in my neighborhood. Look at all this gold and all the stuff. Look at all the stuff he has. He's a drill rapper, blah. Okay. But that's maybe not your lane. And it's okay. You don't have to do that. I think we don't have enough people telling them it's okay to do your thing. It's okay to stand, 10 toes down for what you are into, for what you love, and not worry about what other people say about what you love, because they won't be there when you're down. Right? So that investment doesn't just happen with young people. It happens with Sebastian Telfair's story.
Oh,
if you saw that recently.
Yeah.
He was a dude in high school. And he's back in the projects. Right? It's a cautionary tale for sure. Did it have to do anything with gambling or anything like that? I mean, here's a guy who had millions of dollars. What did he actually gamble? The fact that he felt like he was above everything and forgot about the important things, the little things. He was not literate financially. He didn't look at what his cousin did. He didn't talk to his cousin. Even Stephon Marbury has been going through it. Money doesn't change where you came from. Money doesn't all of a sudden make you financially literate or well or smart. Ask Antoine Walker.
What God say? A fool and his money what?
You know, it's interesting that you talk about that, man. The lane that they created for others to follow. You're right. It is a fairy tale. But I think what's so disappointing sometimes is that others only get to witness that. So they take what you were saying earlier, these gambles on life to create it. And it has caused more harm than it does helping. And so you're right. I look at young people, they're not trying to build, sustain, grow, level up. They're only
they use the phrase level up,
right.
But do you know what it means when you level up? What have you done to actually level up? Oh, I got a better girlfriend. What? I got a better boyfriend. What does he do for you? When people say, I'm out here on my grind, son, explain that. And they can't. I say, well, if you know anything, well-oiled machines don't grind, sir.
Hey, you know what? It's so crazy that, Will, you asked the question, like, how do these young people out here, navigate this, they want the life of, of what they see on social media, but there's people, sports, basketball greats who have retired and done it correctly. Why haven't no one is watching them? And I'm going to throw some names out at you. Junior Bridgman, Karan Butler, Jamal Mashburn, Grant Hill, Vinnie Johnson,
Magic Johnson, Shaq,
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas. Yeah.
These guys they not moving back to the projects. Why our young people are not educated enough to even know this, or I'm gonna follow what these guys
that's a
do.
whole different issue there, though, Agee, because now you're moving into a place of when these guys were in school, they wasn't getting the right instructions to facilitate these moves now. Like even now with the NILs, as strong as it is, there's probably no financial literacy classes. There's probably, when you got to remember this, and I hate to say this, man, because I was a product of it. And I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm just speaking for me now. But when I was coming up, man, the idea was to get my family out the hood. So I wasn't thinking about, man, let me hold on. No, if I had 25,000, we got 25,000. What? You need some food? Hey, here's some money to get you some food. And before you know it, that money keeps getting chipped away. And then we all still in the same boat. Back where we started.
And that's where it comes. Please put it like this. And I hate to make this about quote unquote race, but it's about privilege too, right? When white kids come in the league, they don't think about their obligation to building or taking care of a whole group of people. They're playing to play the game. They earn. They're working. When you're playing and you're everybody's counting on you to make it. You guys, your film, your lives speak to this. You were the meal ticket for everybody. You did the work. And so if you fell short, where were they? Well, you already know you had the quote of the movie. Will you remember me if I don't? Okay? Will you remember me if I don't make it? That's the thing. And a lot of those people that were with you when it was happening, when it was hot for you all, suffice to say, I'll take, and I'm not one to make assumptions. Would it be safe to say that a great many of them don't exist in your lives on an active basis today?
Absolutely.
So if you understand that, and this is what we don't get though. Not everybody can go with you, right? And that's why Michael, despite not liking the way Michael Porter delivered the mail, I understood the mail had to be delivered. And it's the fact that happens unless you do what the hashtag he who shall be named did and send his boys to school. and let them run his businesses and get rid of all the agents and create your own identity. That's why people dislike it for the most part. That he decided to take over his own destiny and decide his own path. I'm sorry, he don't have a path. When you trailblaze instead of pathfind, it's different because people haven't seen it. What's an 18-year-old kid who didn't know anything, who should have, apparently he knew enough to turn down Reebok's $10 million and say, if he's willing to give me $10 million and I'm sleeping on the couch, I gotta go to homeroom after I leave here? Who's gonna give me more? He knew enough. And if you've seen it squandered, because we have a bunch of money market managers on the social media in the way of streets. Man, if I had that money, but you work at 7-Eleven, my guy, relax. You don't have that.
I'm a
Not knocking
consultant.
you. I'm
a
glad you got a
financial
job.
consultant.
How can you tell me what to do with millions of dollars and you're living check to check? Not disrespect, just the facts of the matter. We worry about the wrong things sometimes. I applaud it when you're winning. Do your thing. Do it. Oh man, Floyd Mayweather's gonna lose all his money. He earned it. And in the most butt naked of ways. He can't hide behind a cubicle and get his check every 2 weeks. You got to get out there and either do it or don't. The playing surface, the sports are fine. There's the integrity of the sport is fine. You can either do it or you don't.
You know, it's interesting
outside
that
of
you
it.
say that
Come
because I
back
think people miss that component there. They think that this only happens when you're making big money, but this is happening in everyday life. I mean, this whether you making $1 million or you making 20,000, it's the same race.
You got to run your race, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
people are trying to run everybody else's race.
But I'm talking about in terms of what people feel like, man, if I'd have had your money, well, but you ain't doing right with your money. You know
Right.
what you,
But and that's what happens. That's what happens with this gambling stuff. Like you get a Pell Grant when you went to school?
Absolutely.
So my Pell Grant money, I put into my first company in my dorm room. If the NCAA was going to come get me, they were going to come get me. But I used that money to start my little company in my dorm room. That company turned into Urban Art Marketing and Promotions. I was working in footwear and apparel, then music and party. I'm doing all this stuff, like TV show, all this stuff popped up because I made an investment in myself. So it's where you put that money that matters. Well, of course I ate. Of course I ate. I made sure I ate. But that was me knowing I was on my own, right?
Yeah.
My parents were in Europe because my father, blessed dead, was in the military. They were in Europe. I had to take care of me in the States. I figured out, I'm okay, I can go out and wild out, or I can DJ this party, make $500 here, put this away, spend $100. That's my budget for the week. I'm on scholarship. I get all my food for free and everything else. Sneakers, everything. Oh, I get 16 pairs of sneakers to start the season? I'm going to only need 4 or 5 of them. I'm going to Foot Locker, trade in sneakers to look fly. Oh, I was doing it all. I didn't care. But I utilized what I had to build what I wanted. And it takes not everybody's built to do that. Not everybody's built to be a general. Some people are built to be soldiers. I get it.
You know what's
But
interesting,
to be
man?
responsible, everybody can be responsible.
I used to tell kids because I didn't do it, but I wish I would have did it in college. So I did it with my boys. Is that okay? You on scholarship? Let's go in and let's take these loans out. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put all that money in a high-bearing interest account. And when you're done with school, we're gonna pay them their money back, and you're gonna have a nice little piece of change to start your life off with. But I don't see too many kids, and it's hard because it's like you said, man, if you've not been educated in that way, because you was talking about this earlier, get with some people that's done these things, but most of the success stories that we have seen, they've all kind of also had the ending in failure too. So it's kind of been hard to.
In this life, we all do this, right? I break down life into 3 steps. Anything you do in this life is in 3 basic steps, sir. Setup, execution, follow through. Where we most fail is the follow through. Whether you're making a sandwich, building a home, meeting a girl or a guy, whatever it is, it's always the follow through that fails. You just talked about this, Will. So I give an example all the time of like meeting a woman, right? The setup is our eyes meet across a crowded room. The execution is I go, hey, my name is Will, blah, 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 we making googly eyes. I'm going to take you out for dinner. Maybe go get a hot cup of steam with a long straw, big bowl of nothing. You can have 2. She finds me witty. She becomes my woman. I become her man. But all the things I did to get her, I didn't do to keep her. Right? So all the stuff you did to build this idea, to build, I want to be an influence. Okay, build that. But, I made my first little check. When I did my company in my dorm room at Rice. I was so when they told me I had to get off campus, I had to wait for my check from the NCAA. I had a friend pay my first, last, and security deposit, give me some groceries in my house. I had popcorn in my house. I ate popcorn every day. I put in cereal. You think I'm joking? I put in bowls. I put sugar on it. I didn't like mustard and mayonnaise. I put mustard and mayonnaise, anything to make it seem different. I would hustle some CDs at like Taco Bell, whatever, Arby's every once in a while. But for the most part, I was eating popcorn every day and working in my little company. And I was like, okay, I don't want to play basketball, but I got to eat. And I'm working. I should quit. I got this degree. I got everything else. I just want to maybe get hard bottoms, get a job in oil and gas, get married at 28, get divorced by 37, peptic ulcer by 39, alimony checks, the whole night. I didn't want that life for me. Right? So I worked. Into that first month, 1 check came. I didn't get gas. Bought some groceries, some bread, some beans, some rice. Work. Still question myself. Is it because I'm black? Is it because I'm not smart enough? Is it because I can't do what everybody else is doing because I didn't have a leg up and I'm wanting to quit and compare myself? Kept working. At the end of that month, 11 checks came. In the words of the great immortal poet, Lawrence Kristen Parker, a.k.a. KRS-One. Now there's steak with the beans and rice. But I didn't stop because I got that steak. I'm like, how can I make this sustainable? That's the work we don't do anymore because it's all so accessible to us. And now you know the percentages of guys who make the league and how long you stay in the league. What's the average? 3-4 years? There are guys that were the college player of the year, didn't do jack in the NBA. There are guys that were amazing in NCAA, Big 12 player of the year 2 years in a row. Couldn't get off the bench in the NBA. That money goes quick. We try to live a lifestyle.
We've seen it, and he's a great player. Everybody say he's great. We see Michael Beasley, probably one of the greatest college players to ever play the game.
He was nice.
To me, was a beast in the league. But you can have all other skills and still not get the opportunity. You know,
he said about Pat Riley telling him to make his mother come live with him, and he wouldn't listen to her, or he wouldn't listen to him. And he said, I lost all my money trying to take care of all these guys who are not around me now.
Yep. You know, funny, man, and then I'm going to let us close this out. But I thought about this, man, when you was just speaking, when you was talking about comparing ourselves, man, I often thought, man, and I've always tried to live this way in life, that I don't compare myself to no one else. And that's not a brag. That's none of that. But I compare myself to my potential. Because I look at it this way. Just because, let's say, I got a little more than somebody else, that still don't mean I'm maximizing my potential. I just got more than you.
Right.
So even though you maximizing your potential, and I still got more, so people will assume that I'm doing greater than you. Yeah. But I'm not, because I'm not maximizing my own personal potential. I just got more. So people need to stop, comparing themselves to others and compare yourself to your potential and what you should be doing. And that's how, but it's hard to connect with that type of thinking. Man, you're talking about women, cars, money, houses, your homeboys, I mean, man, I can't even imagine, like when we was in high school, man, the most I was concerned about was that I had the right kicks on the hoop in.
Right. Right. The priorities have changed a little bit. Yeah. But again, it's what's beamed into you. And that when there was a time, again, I'm walking backward for a reason. TV used to go off at night. 12 o'clock
Yeah,
is
it did.
dun, 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 it's gone. Now you got access to everything. You can go online if you can't find something on TV and doom scroll all night and see these lives you want to live. Man, they're in Dubai, they're in Abu Dhabi, they're doing all this, they're doing all that. And you're like, I want that. And it's nothing wrong with aspiration. But there has to be some perspiration to find that aspiration.
But that aspiration isn't built legitimately.
Legit.
I
Yep.
think about when we were playing. Because we didn't have social media, I didn't know what somebody was doing over in Iowa.
Right.
I just knew what I wanted. So
Right.
I wanted to do whatever it took to do to get where I wanted to be. I didn't know what somebody was doing. And, Jamal Crawford told us, man, he said, if it had not been for Hoop Dreams, he said, man, I didn't know what y'all was doing in the Midwest. He said, I didn't know how to get down. But now it's every day. Like, man, I almost feel sorry for the athletes of today. And with gambling thrown on top of that, now you got to come out of grade school ready.
Which is crazy, but ready for what?
Exactly.
And before we go, man, can I shout out a Chicago legend
Absolutely.
real quick? A guy who I wore his number because I always wanted to go to this school in Chicago called DePaul.
I already know
Shouts
what you're
out to
talking
Mark
about.
Aguirre.
Yes,
Getting his
sir.
number retired down there in Dallas.
Finally.
He used to break my heart. He used to have all this NBA talent at DePaul. I'm like, I want to go play for Ray Meyer. They had the coolest team, a bunch of tough Chicago dudes playing in that squad. I want to play at DePaul as a kid. I used to watch NBC and college basketball, Al McGuire talking about these guys, from DePaul, from Terry Cummings and Dallas Comagese and Rod, everybody that played it. Come on. Listen, I was a fan, my guy. And so to see him get his flowers finally in Dallas, and I used to wear 24 because of Mark Aguirre. I used to say I would put the numbers together and make Dr. J because he was my favorite player of all time. But Mark Aguirre's the guy I used to like, watch how, back him down a little fade. I'm like, ooh, I like all that stuff. He had the big hands too. I'm like, okay, I could play like Mark Aguirre, right? So I just want to say what's up to, a Chicago legend, and I'm going to have him on the podcast. And I called DePaul to book that in and just let him know, like, I appreciate him. And when you think nobody's watching, the universe is always listening.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, listen, man, we want to thank you for coming and dropping this knowledge because it's so necessary right now, man, because outside of hooping, I mean, they got to be business astute, and they still got to watch out for all the other elements that we had to watch out for. Like you were saying earlier, it ain't sacrificing, these are add-ons, and you just got to get yourself prepared to handle it. So, man, Will, thanks for dropping all these gems, man. I want to give you the final word, man, that you just want to share with any young person just trying to figure this thing out, man, when it comes to whether it just life, sports betting, whatever, man. We want to give you the last word on today, man.
Listen, man, I need guidance myself. I never put myself in a situation where I feel like I know everything, right? I can always learn and earn from other people and watching their example and talking to them and asking questions and not be afraid or ashamed to ask a question. The dumb one is the one who doesn't ask the question, right? So you can act like you know, or you can really want to know and be curious about the world and ask. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. There's some tough questions. You'll know everything about a person by the way they either react or respond to what you ask them. If they react, bad news. If they respond, if they think about it, because response is thought-based, reaction is emotion. If they stop and say, you know what, young man, I need to think about that. I love that question. Can I talk to you later? I respect that. So when I'm listening to you guys, when I'm listening to you, Will, when I'm listening to you, Tuss, I'm like, okay, it's perspectives, right? And I would say, I'm not trying to be some sort of, non-gambling whisperer or basketball whisperer or nothing like that, because I didn't get to the heights I want to make it in the game. But I was able to earn money from a game that I played for free as a kid. So I attained those levels. And now how do I get back to the game? by doing my podcast, by doing what I'm doing with Full Court 21, but the programming I do around Full Court 21, whether it be Ladies First, our initiative Ladies First, or our indigenous activation called Acknowledge Us, or our thing with kids called the Get Busy. Like, it's always about giving back to something that's given so much to me. And that to me is the most important thing. Like, did I leave this place better than it was when I got here? I will never know that, but at least I feel like that it
That's
wasn't
right.
here before I got here. I'm leaving this and it's in a good place. I'm cool with that. So you can reach me on these rough interweb streets at W_Strickland and the #1 on Twitter, Will Strickland and the #1 on IG, and across all streaming platforms where podcasts can be found. So please like, retweet, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review because it is absolutely essential.
Well,
Hey, for all the young,
I think you're leaving a
Yeah.
great impact.
yeah,
No,
and
man,
for all the
look.
young people out there, hey, don't be a dummy with a smartphone.